progress. Building for tomorrow. Clearing the way for industrial expansion. This is the fast-growing industrial area of Windsor, Ontario, situated on the Great Lakes Waterway, only minutes from Detroit, Michigan. Windsor, Ontario, Canada's 10th largest city, usually among the first 5 cities in industrial expansion. A city that is part of an international metropolis of 3 million population, the hub of a rich agricultural and industrial area, populated by 5 million people in a 50-mile radius. Windsor's progress over the past several years is not accidental. These thriving industries prove it. After only 2 years, this Windsor subsidiary of a Detroit materials handling company doubled its floor space. This auto parts manufacturing firm, in a 4-year-old building, again doubled its plant area. This tool and die firm in Windsor rose from a small basement shop in 1944 to this 22,000 square foot plant in 1955. The need for greater production facilities prompted this Windsor machine manufacturer's building expansion in 1956. Even the long-established companies have, in recent years, undertaken the most gigantic expansion programs of their entire histories. This company's United States experts, with experience in and knowledge of Canada, decided that the proper place to conduct their $54 million expansion program was at their 30-year-old Windsor plant. Another well-known automotive company, in Windsor since 1904, employs an equal number, even with their current multi-million-dollar automation expansions. After 100 years in Windsor, this world-famous distillery has just conducted their largest expansion program in a new distillery and in new rack houses. Industries in Windsor, whether established 2 years or 100, are expanding rapidly now, because Windsor finds itself in the center of a rapidly growing Canadian and American market, with advantages for the Canadian subsidiary of an American concern. Canada's largest border city is just minutes away from downtown Detroit, close to technical know-how, sister industries, and a large sales market. Windsor is situated strategically on air, land, and sea routes for incoming raw materials and outgoing manufactured goods. Transports find easy access by Highways 2 and 3 and the Superhighway 401 to Montreal, Toronto, or Buffalo. To and from the United States by the Detroit Tunnel or the Ambassador Bridge. 5 railways interlace Windsor with all of Canada and the United States. These include special switching and spur lines that link all important zoned industrial areas. Windsor enjoys the advantage of equalized freight rates for goods shipped to Western Canada. A year-round ferry service and rail tunnel keeps freight moving daily to Detroit, where connections make transfers to all American lines. Midway on the waterway, Windsor's navigation season is open from April to December. 20 minutes from downtown Windsor, an ever-expanding airport is serviced by Trans-Canada Viscount passenger and freight transports, which have doubled the previous capacity of daily flights. Here, $1 million built the new Windsor Air Terminal and lengthened runways. There are non-stop flights to Mexico, direct Toronto-Montreal flights, and connections to Detroit airfields, where it's only 2 hours from New York, 1 hour from Chicago. Windsor and its suburbs have been zoned for industrial, commercial, and residential expansions, to stabilize investments in homes, and to protect industrial buildings. Industrial sites are available in organized, controlled developments at prices from $3,500 per acre, land that may sell for $20,000 in larger centers. Much land is priced from $1,500 to $2,500 per acre. These sites are serviced with water, power, and sewers, with rail facilities at the rear and roadway at the front. Adjacent to Windsor, Sandwich East Township offers 500 acres of land for incoming and expanding industries, where this mechanical conveyor firm doubled its operating capacity. Sandwich West Industrial Park provides 150 acres of municipally owned land on Highway 401, where already expansion is taking place close to the Ambassador Bridge. Miles of undeveloped land lies along the riverfront in the Windsor area, on the busiest waterway in the world, directly across from Detroit's heavy industry. Docking and slip facilities are being built by steamship companies. In nearby Ojibwe, a salt company has erected buildings where 4,000 tons of gritted rock salt can be produced daily. The buildings on the river's edge have dock and rail facilities which can be made available to the purchasers of the several acres of adjacent land. Industry can arrange for buildings constructed to their own specifications and have them erected in less than 90 days. Water, hydro, gas, and oil, the fuels of industry, are in good supply. Windsor has the lowest gas rates in eastern Canada, and the Windsor area has an unlimited supply of water. The Utilities Commission now has a high lift capacity of over 100 million gallons a day. Electricity is provided in 60-cycle service from the Ontario Hydroelectric Power Commission at new low rates. And Windsor's giant new steam generating plant, the second largest in Canada, has 4 60,000 kilowatt units to assure power during peak load hours. Several expanding construction companies are available to service new industries from drawing board to the last brick. They have handled the major expansion programs of large industry in Windsor and elsewhere. Canada's largest architectural and engineering firm operates from Windsor. Construction costs in wintertime never reach the 10% increase prevalent elsewhere, for Windsor has the mildest winter climate in eastern Canada. The Industrial Commissioner's Office in Windsor always has a complete listing of buildings for sale or lease for temporary or permanent housing of establishing industries. The city of Windsor is a good place in which to live, a fine city for families. On the average, the more than 5,000 new homes built in the past 4 years were from $2,000 to $4,000 lower in price than those in larger cities. Home building has kept pace with industrial expansion in Greater Windsor. This has meant the planning and construction of more schools on all educational levels, and of churches too in these fast-growing residential areas. There are fewer traffic problems from office and plant to home in Windsor. The distance is still short enough to get home for lunch. One is never further than 15 minutes from downtown, and home is always close to everything else, only minutes away from the new shopping centers that are providing more opportunities for business and commercial firms. Windsor, Ontario, long known as an automobile center, is quickly turning to more and varied industrial output, and this diversification has helped each succeeding new industry. For many Windsor manufacturers produce for other industrial markets. There is a large number of tool and die industries in Windsor, producing the finest molds, dies, and industrial tools in the country. Craftsmen, who are artists in metal, working within the smallest tolerances to do some almost impossible feats with molds. Every tiny detail in these accurate scale toy automobiles first had to be carved from steel by Windsor craftsmen. Given a free hand, new designs have been created, and new methods of plastic molds have been engineered by Windsor tool firms. From the smallest to the largest, machinery engineered and built to customers' specification by Windsor machine manufacturers, turning out new designs in machine engineering on schedule. Paint, varnish, lacquer, and enamel, produced in Windsor in the most modern paint plant in North America. For home and industry, enamel shaded and matched to specification in up-to-date laboratories for the individual or manufacturer. Almost every article manufactured is weighed at some time, and weighing scales to meet every need and requirement are standard or custom made and government inspected in Windsor to serve industry. If a product can be packaged in capsule form, this Windsor plant can engineer and produce the right capsule to do the job. The contents scientifically measured, sealed and packaged under one roof. Capsules to serve medicine, commerce, and industry. Windsor industrial buildings are progressive in their architecture, built with an eye to attractive design to enhance the industrial area. Engineers and draftsmen use the latest, most modern architecture to construct buildings of the most useful, yet eye-pleasing brick, stone, and glass. Consideration and planning in the positioning of industrial buildings and trim landscaping and flower beds have improved the appearance of many districts. Smokeless fuels, smooth-running machinery, and air conditioning have lessened or eliminated smoke, dirt, and noise in certain plants. All have contributed to better, more attractive industrial districts in Windsor. Establishing American industries have brought as few as 1 or 2 men from the United States. The rest, the skilled and unskilled labor, the administration and sales forces, were obtained in Canada, thus not taxing the personnel of the parent company. 61% of Windsor people are in the middle income bracket, the highest percentage in Canada. They earn more because more are highly skilled in trades and professions, and they spend more. Windsor's proximity to Detroit, Michigan, and central USA has brought about many advantages that have been proved by successful local manufacturers. Windsor is in the center of the combined Ontario and central United States populated area. Some U.S. manufacturers make use of their Windsor plants for their engineering operations. Many tooling costs are reduced by the customs regulation allowance for the transferring of identifiable dies any number of times on one importation. Tighter scheduling is possible in Windsor plants because of goods being transported from an American city, passed by customs, and delivered sooner than from other sources. Urgently needed goods are released on bonds so that production is not held up, a unique feature with Windsor customs brokers. If the manufacturer has in any way some United States interest in source of supply, in markets, in technical advice, or with a parent company, then that manufacturer will find great advantages for establishing in Greater Windsor. By establishing a branch plant in Canada now, your business can grow with Canada. Choose the fast-growing industrial center of Windsor, Ontario. Contact the Industrial Commissioner's office, give your requirements, and they'll send you an up-to-the-minute detailed report and an invitation to a confidential discussion and a personally conducted tour that will prove to you that Windsor can fit those requirements and start your expansion program on the road to success. For Windsor is planned for progress.